Officially on. We're live. I don't know if your face made it in there. All right, we'll find out. So I've deemed my daughter the invisible daughter because she's like oozing around all the time. And I think from now on, when I do these news and announcements, I'm totally going to don a pirate hat. It just seems like I need a hat or a crown or something. All right, so this is my ship. This is my ship. This is the HMS Operation Imagination. This is what I do. I have a severe love, passion, and admiration for Alexandria. And in the university, there were 4 pillars of education. There was communication, the energy, thinking, and story. When you take these 4 categories and break them down, pretty much everything we have studying today, from the arts, music, plays, theater, on over to reading, writing, arithmetic, geometry, astrology, astronomy, history, whatever you want to say, philosophy, theology, it all falls under these 4 pillars of education: communication, the energy, thinking, and story. So I basically put together the healing garden on these same 4 pillars. I love to use communication as a method to raise awareness and draw you into my story. I absolutely love communication. I am an award-nominated author. I have 4 books published at the moment. I'm currently writing 2, maybe 3. I also do poetry, articles, and I am published several times over in several magazines. One of my articles on this particular theory of cognitive dissonance just was published a couple of days ago. Now, that being said, I also pull a lot in when it comes to the energy. So I focus a lot on Tesla and on Einstein, and they both were very adamant that energy is literally in everything we do. One of the gentlemen, I think it was Einstein, who said, if you, well, you know what? I think I loved it so much that I saved it. So rather than trying to paraphrase Einstein, you can all laugh. That was a joke. Let me see here. Everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Well, I've got some news for you. It's also psychology, and I figured it out. So I've included that in my program, where basically it's the power of manifestation, but it's more than that. I figured out how the subconscious mind does it and how it basically uses the energy and the alignment to pull in and make the reality whatever it needs to be, because it cannot have cognitive dissonance. And it will do anything in its power to prevent cognitive dissonance. That's what my article is on. So the next pillar of education, aside from energy, is philosophy. It's thinking, it's history, it's theology, it's existentialism. It's asking the question, any question. It's having the ability to ask the question. It's even having the ability to learn the question. If you don't think, and if you don't know how to think, you will always be asking the wrong questions. The 4th pillar is story. I did not know it at the time. I just went where my energy told me to go. So I spent a lot of time as a child in the arts, all of them. I left none of them unturned. I danced ballet in secret for 15 years, and now I'm dancing salsa. I've sung. At one point, I was trained for opera. I was a trained opera singer. Music was my life. Dance was my life. The written word, Shakespeare, play, theater, Broadway. I love the arts so much. And then photography, painting, sculpting. I love art. And in 2015, when I launched Brain to Books, I spent a lot of time analyzing story. Why do we need story? What is it about story? It was my favorite topic, one that I obsessed on for almost 5 years. Analyzing, why the hell do we need story? Why do we need TV? Why do we need theater? Why do we need to sit around a campfire and tell stories? Why do I have to do this right now with you? Why? Why are you captivated to listen? Why? Because I knew to think. I knew to ask these questions. So I dug down and I learned something. That story accesses two things: our imagination and our voice. And when we combine the power of our imagination with our voice, as we tell a story, we learn. We learn because we imagine it. We play it out in our minds. We are practicing perspective. People need to be told story. They need to hear story, and they need to tell story, which is why we gossip. But what are we really doing when we tell story? I will tell you what we are really doing. We are really connecting. That is what we are doing when we tell story. We're connecting. That's it. There it is. I've been looking for this one for a long time. So that at the end of the day, when we sit down and we take our loved ones and we tell them about our day, we're connecting. When we all go into a theater and we see a production being done and the actors are emitting, I'm gonna be very honest with you, this is my idea of porn, is when the actors are on stage and they're performing and I'm in the theater and I'm just voyeuring it up and I'm taking in all of their energy. It feels so good because I'm connecting with people, but not just those people, everybody in the room. That is why we love theater. Because I'm standing here and every time I talk, even though I have no audience, I think about the infinite number of people that will watch it. And I know you're taking a piece of my energy right now and taking it into yourself. Because I've been in the audience so many times, I know about that transfer that's taking place. So that every time you tune into me or into anything, you're tuning into its energy. But we're not listening. But we're not listening. Listening is the other half of it. I have yet to meet a theatrical audience who is not there to listen. Theater people know how to shut up. They have to, because you don't want to disturb the magic. So when I think about every time you tune into me, I'm giving you me. You know, Every time I read Harry Potter, I could feel this warm energies just wrap around me like butterscotch in the summertime. That's what Harry Potter feels like to me. You know, I betcha that is the aura of J.K. Rowling. I betcha that's how she feels. So that every time I read a line from Harry Potter, I'm taking in Ms. Rowling's energy. That's the way it feels every time I pick up Tolkien. I can feel Tolkien, his words. And you know, people have said that to me. They've read my books, and then they talk to me, and then they meet me, and they're like, whoa. And here we are taking up Shakespeare's words, or Miguel de Cervantes, or Dante, and we're just taking in that energy. Every time we read a book or a poem, every time we indulge in the arts, we are trading energy. Story for story, words for words, we're connecting. We are connecting on the soul level. So this was my realization, that if I want to build the garden, I'm going to have to build it on the 4 pillars of Alexandria. Which means I'm going to tell you a story. Oral tradition. And I'm just going to tell it my way, because my very first love has always been story. That's what I know, and that's what I do. And it's my medium. If I'm not writing it out in story, then I have to be performing it out in story, because that's who I am. And I am introducing to you the story of our identity and all of its relevant parts. I will be launching this, I guess, at random. I could try a schedule. See me stepping into the fear. I want to thank you very much for joining me. I know I've been inconsistent with my content, and I must have rebranded the Healing Garden 30 different times. And I made sure I got on and stayed on every single day, no matter what, even on my bad days. And I think that that matters. I know that that matters. I don't do the whole polished celebrity bullshit where I don't show you what I really look like. I stopped wearing masks, and I stepped out of the patriarchy. And I live outside of the patriarchy. I have my own ethics, my own morals. I have my beliefs, and they are tested by me constantly. And whenever somebody presents me with a new belief, I am so tuned into my subconscious mind that as soon as I feel the slightest bit of confusion, I can step back, shift perspectives, look at what they are actually doing to me, and then use my defense system to redirect or to get away from them mindfully to keep me safe. I listen to my intuition. I listen to my gut. When I'm tired, I sleep. I don't look at the clock. I never look at the clock. When I'm tired, I sleep. When I'm hungry, I eat. I take vitamins. I do yoga. I do meditation every day. I do journaling. I do manifestation. And I have found a way to live completely outside of the patriarch. When you stop looking at the clock, you start listening to your body. When you stop looking at the clock, you start feeling your body. And you realize you don't need the clock at all. There is nothing I can do that I can bring, that I can leave philosophy behind. It's in everything I do. If I'm telling a story, if I'm writing a book, if I'm writing a post, if I'm composing my ballads even, everything has to have depth to it in my world. Everything always has to have a function. I feel like I'm giving a speech and I don't know what to say. I'm just going with it. I'm just feeling it. And my body makes feelings that I have yet to understand. I'm still trying to figure it out. They're feelings that I've never been able to feel before, because now that I'm healed, my subconscious mind isn't loud. So I can actually feel feelings. The most surprising feeling I ever felt was love. It felt nothing at all like you thought it would. When I finally felt it, it was something so different. And then when I thought back to the old emotion, the emotion that I thought was love, I could feel the difference. And I was finally able to go, oh my God, that's not love at all. That's possessiveness, jealousy, anger, fear, and a severe problem with rejection and abandonment and control. Whoa, that's not love at all. But it wasn't until I finally got to that status of love where I finally got to feel this different feeling. And then I went, well, people are running around saying this is love. And I'm going, dude, you have no clue. That was one of the surprises. And sometimes, every day now, every day I have learned to step further and further into my intuition and follow it. And it's been quite a ride. And then it's just sharpening it and fine tuning it and honing it down and honing it down and honing it down a little further. So I have several programs coming up. I have Tuning Into Your Power, and that I do once a month. Tuning Into Your Power is a super course with themes. It is the same thing every month. But I'm going to be showing you how we basically take tuning into your power and directing it toward parenting, directing it towards relationships, directing it towards finances. But at the core is tuning into your power. This is a 5-day mini master course. It's located inside my website under my mini master power courses. And it's 5 days. You and I go in, it's a full group. And we basically have 5 days to rip this whole thing down and rebuild it. And when we do that, there's going to be assignments, there's going to be things brought to your attention for awareness. And we're basically going to give you the tools and the skills to break down and rebuild and then reshift. It's a full alignment and full balance of your 3 life titans. That's right. We're going to align them and balance them. And I do this using the 4 pillars of education that I was inspired from the Library of Alexandria. So we teach you how to raise your conscious awareness, take your identity and bring it out, and then take your subconscious mind and turn down that defense, or turn down the fear system, turn up the defense system, and then we bring it all together. So that by day 5, your perspective will be so different that you'll be able to tackle obstacles instead of problems. You'll be able to identify what's happening to your subconscious mind, because you're literally going to learn the language of the subconscious mind, so that when you get this information, you can literally cram it right down and take care of it right away. And you can go back through and start cleaning everything out. So we're going to go over shadow work. We're going to go over self-care regimens, how to take care of yourself. And women, we are going to be going over goddess training, where we are going to dig into that woman hesitation that we have society conditions into us that keeps us in check. We're going to go over that. I have sections that talk about how to defeat narcissism using this. Literally any psychological problem can be plugged in using tuning into your power. This is a concept that I built off of my Rorschach print perspective in 2001. So it's a lot of research. It's literally 30 years of books, 30 years of information, 30 years of philosophy, psychology, physics, the energy, all crammed down into a 5-day masterclass where you get access to everything that I did in 30 years. It is quite astounding. The price is $1,000 and it starts on July 10th. The link for it is down below. And I'm going to say it again. I'm only doing this class once a month. I can't. It's exhausting for me. It pulls too much from my own energy. So I am limited with how often I can do these power courses. If you are wanting to get something else available over at Anna's Healing Garden, we have everything else. We've got services. I've got individual do-it-yourself courses. I have my master classes, and I have alignments where you can purchase each individual package, so you can just focus on grief, or just focus on shadow work, or just focus on improving your self-care. So there's a lot of resources that are available to you. There's a lot of information all over. It's at annashealinggarden.org, ANNAS healinggarden.org. And you'll be able to go in. I'm going to be putting together retreats in 2024. This is like my huge project for 2024, is getting healing retreats, 3-day or a 1-week long getaway. We're going to start small, going over to Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. But I'm wanting to go to Costa Rica. I'm wanting to go to Japan. I'm wanting to go to Hawaii. And I will be doing the Healing Garden full retreats, where you'll be getting me live with my lectures and my speaking. You're going to get me live for Q&A, and I'm going to be lounging and enjoying the retreats as well with you, with my partner, because hell yeah. And in addition to that, we're going to have yoga instructors. I'm going to have Reiki healers. I'm going to have a full energy healing and holistic healing options as well. So I'm absolutely huge on I'm excited for this. I'm going to be doing for couples only romantic getaways, and or like a kind of romantic therapy, or boost your love life. And again, that can all be done through my retreats that are coming up in 2024. So subscribe to my newsletter, The Philosopher's Fountain, for that kind of a program coming up, and you'll be able to stay in tune of everything that's happening. So thank you so much for joining me today. This has been news and announcements. And I think I found my identity with this. I figured out how I'm going to dance with a healing garden. So thank you so much for your patience, and may the kindest of words always find you.